You ever see a grown woman in pastel cardigans lose her goddamn mind over a car that isn't even blocking her mailbox? Yeah. Me neither, until last summer in Oakwood Estates. I was out front. Sleeves rolled up. Microfiber cloth in hand. Putting the final swirl on the hood of my Ghost when the click-clack of sensible heels hit the pavement like gunfire. I didn't even need to turn around. I already knew the energy. The kind of energy that comes with a clipboard and a god complex. "Excuse me," she barked, stopping dead center in my driveway like she owned the asphalt. "Young man." I straightened up, wiping my hands on my jeans. "Morning. Ma'am. Something I can help you with?" She planted her feet, arms folded so tight her pearl necklace looked like it was choking her. Victoria Langford, Vice President of the Oakwood Estates Homeowners Association. According to the little gold pin on her blazer. I'd seen her name on the monthly newsletter that basically read like a fascist cookbook. "That vehicle," she said, jabbing a manicured finger at my rolls like it had personally insulted her ancestors, "is a blatant violation of community standards." I raised an eyebrow. "It's in my driveway." "Exactly. Flaunting wealth like that disrupts the aesthetic harmony we've worked so hard to maintain. This isn't some flashy McMansion development in Scottsdale. We have standards here." I almost laughed. Almost. Instead I just smiled the polite smile you give a Karen who's about to learn she picked the wrong quiet kid to fuck with. "Ma'am. I bought the house. I bought the car. Cash. Both legally mine. So unless there's a clause in the bylaws that says no fun allowed, I'm not sure what the issue is." Her lips pursed so hard they disappeared. "I've lived here 22 years. I've never seen a 26-year-old driving a $400,000 car unless they're running drugs or scamming old ladies." "Which one is it, Mr.?" She let the name hang like she was waiting for me to flinch. "Ellis," I said calmly. "Jordan Ellis." She narrowed her eyes. I checked the directory. "You're not even on the updated resident list yet." "Yeah. Because I moved in 3 weeks ago. And you're not supposed to be digging through resident files without cause. Page 14 of your own covenants, privacy clause. Want me to email you a screenshot?" That one landed. Her cheeks went the color of cheap rose. "I am the board," she hissed. "I have every right to investigate suspicious activity. And if that rolling midlife crisis is parked here again tomorrow, I'll have it towed at your expense. For aesthetic violation." I tilted my head. "Show me where it says I can't park my own car in my own driveway." "I don't have to show you anything." "Cool. Then I guess we'll let a judge decide." She spun on her heel so fast her cardigan flapped like a surrender flag. "This isn't over, Mr. Ellis. You'll learn." I watched her storm off, heels stabbing the sidewalk like she was trying to murder it. Then I went back to polishing my car, smiling to myself. Because here's the thing nobody in Oakwood Estates knew yet. I wasn't some trust fund kid playing dress up. I was the guy who'd built a cybersecurity firm from his dorm room. Sold it at 25 for enough money to buy this house and the car and still have plenty left to play with. And more importantly, I was the guy who'd spent the last 2 weeks, since the first passive-aggressive note about my ostentatious vehicle appeared on my door, quietly downloading every single public HOA record I could get my hands on. Turns out Victoria Langford had been very busy. The next morning, 2 bright yellow violation notices were zip-tied to my mailbox like Christmas ornaments from hell. One cited disruptive luxury vehicle aesthetics. The other demanded I attend a mandatory compliance hearing at the clubhouse that Friday. I took them inside, poured myself a coffee, and opened my laptop. By Thursday night I had a 3-inch binder that smelled like printer ink and impending doom. Friday afternoon the clubhouse smelled like burnt coffee and fear. Victoria sat at the head of a long folding table, flanked by 3 other board members who all suddenly found the fake ficus trees fascinating. She wore a blazer the color of money and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. "Mr. Ellis," she began, voice dripping with fake concern. "We're here because several residents have expressed discomfort with the display in your driveway. We take community harmony very seriously." I set the binder on the table with a soft thud. Every head turned. "Before we get to my car," I said, voice low, "let's talk about something more interesting. Your husband's company, Langford Landscapes, received $68,400 in emergency groundskeeping contracts last year. All of them approved by you. All of them for jobs that don't seem to exist." The room went so quiet I could hear the fluorescent lights buzzing. Victoria's smile froze. "This hearing is about your violations. Not." "Page 7, I said, sliding the binder toward her. "Invoice 4729. Soil remediation behind the community pool. There is no soil behind the pool. It's concrete. Has been since 2019. One of the other board members, a nervous little man named Harold, actually leaned forward to look. Victoria's hand shot out and slammed the binder shut. "This is completely inappropriate. You're trying to distract from the fact that your vehicle is an eyesore and a safety hazard." I laughed. Quiet. Genuine. The kind of laugh that makes people nervous. "Safety hazard? It's a parked car. Vicky. The only hazard here is the fact that you've been treating this HOA like your personal piggy bank for 6 years. And I've got the receipts. All of them. Including the $14,000 you paid your sister for holiday lighting design in July." Her face did something complicated. Like a computer trying to process an error it wasn't programmed for. "You have no proof," she snapped. I opened the binder again. Slowly. Flip to the highlighted section. "Actually, I do. And so does the county auditor. I dropped this exact binder off at their office yesterday morning. They were very interested in the part where the 2022 election results were creatively edited." Harold made a small choking sound. Victoria stood up so fast her chair rolled backward and hit the wall. "This meeting is adjourned," she shrieked. "You are out of order." "No," I said, standing too. "You are." I left the binder on the table like a mic drop made of paper. Outside, the sun was shining like nothing had happened. I got in my car, cranked the stereo, and drove past her house nice and slow. Just because I could. The next 72 hours were beautiful. First came the whispers. Then the casseroles. Then the quiet knock on my door at 11 p.m. From the single mom 3 houses down who'd been fined $900 for having a non-compliant swing set. By Sunday I had a stack of stories taller than my binder. Monday morning. The county auditor's office officially opened an investigation. Tuesday. The local news van showed up. Wednesday. Victoria's husband's landscaping trucks all got mysterious flat tires at the same time. And on Thursday? Thursday was when the real fun started. I was in my kitchen making an espresso when the doorbell rang. 2 sheriff's deputies stood on my porch, looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. "Mr. Ellis?" "That's me." One of them handed me a folder. "Just wanted to give you a heads up. We're executing search warrants at the Langford residence and the HOA storage unit in about 20 minutes. County said you might want to stay inside." I smiled. "Appreciate the warning." They left. I poured my espresso, walked to the front window, and waited. The show didn't disappoint. Victoria came out of her house in yoga pants and a face mask, screaming at the deputies like they'd just run over her dog. Her husband, big, red-faced, the kind of guy who yells at waiters, tried to block the doorway until one of the deputies very calmly reminded him about obstruction of justice. They hauled out 3 bankers' boxes labeled HOA, confidential. Victoria spotted me watching from my window. Our eyes met. I raised my tiny espresso cup in a little toast. She looked like she was about to have a stroke right there on her perfectly manicured lawn. By Friday the entire board had resigned. By the following Monday, the neighborhood had voted to dissolve the current HOA structure and bring in a neutral third-party administrator. And Victoria? Last I heard she was living in a condo in Henderson, Nevada, driving a 2018 Camry and telling anyone who'd listen that she was the victim of a tech bro witch hunt. Me? I still park the Rolls in the driveway every single day. Sometimes I even wash it shirtless, just to give the new neighborhood watch something to talk about. Because here's the thing nobody tells you about these little suburban dictators. They don't actually care about rules. They care about power. And the second someone shows up who knows the rules better than they do, and isn't afraid to use them, the whole house of cards comes tumbling down. And it is fucking glorious to watch. Now here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. And be honest. Who is really the villain here? The 26-year-old with the expensive car? Or the 58-year-old who spent years terrorizing her neighbors over lawn height and holiday decorations while stealing from the very people she swore to protect? Because from where I'm sitting, only one of us was breaking the actual law. And it sure as hell wasn't me.